There's this myth that women in general don't know anything about finances. So what kind of advice for women who maybe have the difficulty to understand the fundamentals of handling money? Hi everybody, this is Karen here, and we are at Midlife Mojo, and this is something I want to talk about with Suzy here this afternoon. And we are actually at Penang Hill because Suzy is here to visit us, and I decided to do a really quick recording and just find out from Suzy, like, you know, you're now 52 years old. Going to, still young. And so what was the most poignant thing that you learned about yourself when you were 40? Something that was, can you think about something that was very significant that affected you?
I think it was when I was in my approaching 40, or at the start of 40, because I already have this plan by mid 40.
Right.
I want to have options to be able to not continue working as an employee in the corporate world.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a big change.
Yeah, it was a big change. So I just started in the mid 30s, and the major area of planning is financially.
Okay.
So 40, that transitioning, I was still focusing on completing that. I had an aim to complete that, and to be able to be on exercise, to be able to what do you call it? Live or free myself from
financially free.
Financially free, yes.
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
But there's this myth that women in general don't know anything about finances. So what kind of advice for women who maybe have the difficulty to understand the fundamentals of handling money? You know, we all want to be financially free. I mean, both men and women.
Yes.
Maybe you can give us a little tip.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just women actually facing that. Even men are facing
that.
Yeah. I think if you were to ask anybody, almost 99% of people will raise their hand and say, yeah, I want to be financially free.
Yes.
Right? So I wanted that early on. So then I go and look for materials, books, attend conferences like there's one Millionaire Mind Intensive.
Millionaire Mind Intensive.
Right, MNI, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was in my early 20s. I attended that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then I read a lot of books that's relating to money management. A very very simple, strategy, very basic. From live within your means. Buy insurance early because it's cheaper.
Correct.
Right, protect yourself. Yeah. And then start reserve. Right, people say 6 months. After you reach the 6 months reserve, you go for 2 years. Right, and then start building.
Right.
Then once you have that already, you start to, of course, in the midst of it, you start to learn how to manage investing.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't come from finance background. I come from psychology background. Yeah. And I realized that finance is such an important area in our life and also in business. So I decided to actually take up books and attend courses on finance for a non-finance manager, and take up MBA books on finance. Took me about 2-3 years to really master it. And today I even have my corporate clients say, Susan, come and teach us, finance for non-finance. I was like, from a psychologist background, you say, yeah, right? The psychology of finance, you say, yeah, absolutely, because I always come from that.
Exactly. But don't you agree that our education system has really failed us?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I feel that there are a lot of young people are not taught to manage and learn about the basic fundamentals of money.
Yeah.
And because we are in the 50s, and we are the lucky ones who actually somehow got exposed to it, right?
Yeah.
And we've got into some investments and things like that. But I think about the young ones who are struggling to even think about buying their first home right now, right? And the cost of living being so high.
Yeah.
And this is something that I think is so important. And that's why, if you're interested, actually, Suzy, can you talk about Find Your Niche and how that can actually help them as well?
Yeah. Well, Find Your Niche is to help aspiring executive and also entrepreneurs who wanted to, grow their career or their business.
Yeah.
And one part of the Find Your Niche is really evaluating finance, like the financial part of like going into a business, the financial part of readiness, even the financial part of investing. Yeah. So while even when we talk about finding our niche in the marketplace, in our career, we also, it's always, I always say, number one, what is the problem you're trying to solve? Either for your company that you're working or the business that you're in.
Right.
Who are you solving it for? But also very important, who is willing to pay for the
for that
solutions you want.
solution. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right? So, and then of course you have the cost of doing business, and when do you pay, when do you not, when do you delay, when do you not,
Right.
right? And then your risk reward,
Right.
and a lot of financial principle.
Exactly.
Yeah. So by mastering, finance and how money works,
Mhm.
right? And money is like a double-edged sword. If
Yeah.
you know how to handle it correctly, ESG is to your benefits.
Correct.
Yeah. So learning from it, from books, from people, it will definitely benefit us, in career and also in business.
So besides Millionaire Mind Intensive, which is a book that I encourage everyone to read, and as well as I like the book from Anthony Robbins as well, and he talks about very simple, basic investment strategies. So, even if you're in your 20s, there's no harm to dollar cost average into your investment. You don't have to talk about, because we give ourselves excuse like, I don't have money to start off and all that. But just think about this. If you just don't buy that daily Starbucks coffee.
Yes.
Just don't do that and save 15 ringgit every day.
Correct.
That amount can go into something that you dollar cost on a daily basis. I promise you that will bring you to a very comfortable little that will help you with your investments as well. And so that's something that you should look into as well.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I want to ask Susie is, we are in a later part of our age, and people tell us that the question is, do you believe women can have it all? Do you believe so? Meaning the family,
yes,
the finances, everything. Do you think you can?
Yeah. I believe that we can, but with support, with a lot of support and people around us. Yeah. Like for example, I came across a woman who climbed the corporate ladder, all the way to CEOs of global companies. So their spouse actually help a lot more in taking care of the family.
Right.
Yeah. So there's always this dual role, right? And some are their parents step in to help out. Yeah. So you definitely need to have that network of support.
Thing that I think it's a bit of a myth that a woman can have it all. I feel that when there's still this expectation that women are supposed to handle everything in the home front as well as so it's a lot. It's a lot for a woman to handle, to do the the childbearing, the child carrying, the household, even the elderly and all that. And I see that the stress that it puts on a lot of women. That's something that I feel.
How do you handle that?
Oh, I don't know, but we end up compromising. And I think we end up compromising more than we want to. And that's why some women, after a certain age or whatever, they find that it's it is easier to just conform to the regulation. I mean, to what society expects us. And I feel that for a woman to climb that corporate ladder, with the fact that people expect you to do maybe 16 hours a day and not have a life, it's quite unfair because very rarely society is still not ready for the men or accept the men taking care of the household.
Okay.
Don't you agree?
Okay. Well, I do come across a few of my girlfriends where they are the one who climb the ladder, and then their husband is the one who take care. Which is right. Yes, correct.
Right. So I'm saying, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying it is so much harder because it's still just a societal expectation that men are the one that works, and the woman is expected to take care of everything else. Right?
Did you ever felt regret, like that you have to prioritize certain area and deprioritize certain area?
I did. And especially as women, we give up our identities, which I feel like when you're married, you're Mrs. So and so. And then when you're a mom, then you're so and so's mom, so and so's whatever. But it's for the longest time I felt lost in my identity, and I felt that I couldn't be myself and be who I wanted to be. Albeit thankfully, I can't complain about my life. Everything is great. But I can imagine if someone were to be in a relationship that didn't work out, and she gave up a lot for that, what she thought was a family and everything, but somehow that relationship didn't work out, and how much regret that would be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that women don't have that luxury the way men do. You know, like you know of a lot of men. Yes, I'm not saying that they don't suffer. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying that you know, men when they work, they have an option that I can call on my wife to handle this, so I can work late tonight, or I can get my mom to help me and all that. But generally, it is expected of the wife to handle that perspective.
To handle the line, the rest.
Yeah, exactly. No, don't agree. And so I was very naive when I was 15, 16, and we had this discussion with my classmates and all. And then a lot of them say, oh, yeah, women are strong, we can have it all. And I believe at that time, I truly believe that I can have it all. I have to have that career that I want and all that. But the minute I married, I realized that
you give up so much.
You
have to give up certain area that ideals are you.
I had to compromise a lot to meet the expectations in terms of the family and all that. And I'm not saying I regret it, but I think it was also an economic choice because obvious at that time my husband was earning a lot more than I was. So I was saying, okay, so something has to give, you know. But I'm glad that the roles have reversed a little bit now that he's supporting me, you know, and he says it's time for you to branch out and do the things you love. And I'm glad that I have that opportunity. Yeah. So I think, sometimes to have that family intact and to have your children grow up to be responsible and good kids, you need to make that sacrifice. I think it's you can't not be present for their life too.
So Karen, looking back, I mean, of course, through the whole journey, right? At certain time when you think back, you go like, wow, I have to give up so much.
Right.
But like standing now today, looking back, you know, of course, with your children all grow up, doing very well with their life, you know, going to form their families.
Yes.
You know? So do you have a different perspective now to all the years of, you know, sacrifice or giving more or reprioritize?
I do. I think like I would tell my girls that explore what the things they love and be happy with whatever, because you're only young so much and you only got one life. So you got to really enjoy everything. And I'm very lucky that my journey has been very, very good. But I think it's important to do in terms of, if you feel that that's something in terms of you want to build your career and all that, you need to find the right partner who will fully support you. I think that's very crucial because in today's world, divorce is very common and you don't want to have sacrificed your career and only to find out that your marriage didn't work out after that anyway. Then you kind of burn both ends of it and that's it, right? So I think that communication is very key and it's really finding that balance, that what maybe as a couple, finding what works so that you can give in now for him and maybe later on he can give in to you so that you can. And I think that's a fair compromise.
Yep.
I think so. I mean, because sometimes
and it's also you marry a right man. He knows how to compromise, you know,
and give and take and kind of thing. Because I think, especially in more male-oriented society or expectation is that you know, she's supposed to come home and at 5 o'clock and then whip out a meal by 7 and clean the house and that kind of thing. I think that is a little rich.
A little bit much.
Because it's like you can't expect, and that's why we see so many women who get highly stressed because they are juggling hell of a lot. And we you know, there's this saying that men do one thing but they do it very, very, very well. But women do many, many things and have to handle everything, but not always very well. But you know, it's a lot. So which is better? Which is better? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think at the end, really, it's individual choice. I think, and especially when a couple, it's also like, do I accept the choice I make personally? And then at the same time, do I accept the choice my spouse make? Right? Yeah. So I think in that sense, being a single is a lot more easier.
Yeah, but so my question back to you. So you knew you were looking at financial freedom. I want to share this something which I felt was very, very powerful from a sifu of mine.
Yeah.
He said, freedom, financial freedom is not how much you make. It's how much happiness you can get spending less.
Yeah. It's how much you can get out from what you have.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So don't think about like when we talk about financial freedom, we're not talking about how many millions and millions.
Yeah.
It's about if you are you at that happy space where maybe 2,000 a month makes you really happy. Your life is fulfilled, and that is financial freedom, isn't it? Yeah,
correct.
So besides that, now that you are 50, that's half a century.
Yeah.
Has that been a big moment for you?
Yeah, it has been. Before I reached 50, I have always, taken an approach of life that the first 50 is where we accumulate all the experiences, make all the mistakes that we, either deliberately or indeliberately, make. And 50, it's that turning point.
Right.
I call it, let's make money out from your experience. It's like you have learned all the lessons. Yeah. So of course, by 50, you make less mistake, hopefully, right?
Yeah, we hope.
Yeah. And also you begin to say no to so many good things. In the first 50, right, there are so many wrong decisions you didn't know is wrong until you went into it and then realize it.
Yeah.
But in 50, because you make better decisions, you also attract actually better quality opportunity.
True.
Okay? Yeah. And you can sniff out things that is a lack of quality or even, the scam and all those things, right?
Yeah.
You can sniff out a little bit better. So, which also means you actually have more good offers around you. Okay? People ask you to, hey, you can do this, come join us, you can do that, right? People see your capability, right? So, the challenge then now is, how do you say no to the many, many good things, right? Good opportunity, to be able to focus on the great things that you know you're going to be great or you are already great.
Oh, that is so what is your trick? How do you know?
Yeah, feedbacks from clients.
Okay.
Yeah, feedbacks from people around me, feedbacks from my friends, feedbacks from clients. Yeah, so the consistent message that keep coming back will tell me that I should be focusing on this.
So are you someone who believe in listening to your gut?
Yeah.
Okay.
And gut is trainable.
Yes.
So if our gut is not trained, right, or if we have rubbish in,
then rubbish
you have rubbish guts. But if you have already cultivate, it's like the people you mingle with, right? The books you read, the next week that you choose. There are a lot of crap next week too, but there are also a lot of educational,
ones,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So when you put yourself in the environment, cultivating and having the good, it's like when you have good healthy food, you'll have good healthy body.
True.
It's the same.
So what you feed your brain, who you spend time with, and all that is very, very important. But I want to share, and then maybe you can share, is that when I turn 50 odd, I feel that I am at the best time of my life. I really do. And I'm not just saying that, I really, really do, because for some weird reason, I am more myself than I ever was before. And it's like, there's this sense of wisdom about, okay, I'm very comfortable where I am, and I don't need to pretend to be someone else.
Yeah.
And like what Susie said about learning to say no and say, oh, no, thank you, I'm good with that, and not be offended or hurt or worried that they are hurt, because, that's life. I can't take on everything as well.
Yeah.
So that's something that I find turning 50 has been very liberating for me.
Yes.
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 And so what about you?
Same. Same. It's like, you know what? Other people's opinion is their opinion.
Exactly.
Right?
You can't change it.
They can't change it.
Yeah.
And it's not going to do anything to my life anyway.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And also, when you get when you heard a bad review about somebody, first thing, check the reviewer.
Yes, exactly.
If the reviewer is the type, where the life you don't want to be associated with, then forget about it.
Yeah.
But if the reviewer is somebody who are already, someone that other people look up to, they are succeed in what you want to be successful in, or what you're pursuing, then you better listen.
Yeah. I think that is such a really important part of life, is that for those of you who are starting out maybe in your 20s or 30s, take this time. Don't be in despair. There's always hope. And I'm saying, from us having gone through 100 over years of ups and downs,
Yes.
and there have been trials and tribulations
Mhm.
and challenges.
Mhm.
But believe that at the end of that challenge, there's something better coming up.
Yeah.
You got to believe. I know things are hard and it's very challenging, and you know, maybe you're trying to get your first home or trying to break a career and all that. But tap into your innate, your gut, and believe whatever you want to do, have the gut to do it. Because there's a saying that you can't do the same thing and expect different results. So take my advice, challenge yourself and take action, because really we are talking about two ladies here with 100 over years of experience. We've done our share of mistakes. We have learned from it, and I hope that you will also learn from it. So until then, stay tuned and listen to Midlife Mojo next
Yes.
week.